Sir, please stand by. Mr. Mayor, we're live.
All right. So I am calling to order the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. It is 7:05 p.m. on October 2nd, 2024. And I will ask Pastor Flores to lead us in an invocation.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, and those that are citizens of Baldwin Park. Yo quiero leer un Salmo 103, dice, bendice alma mía a Jehová y bendiga todo mi ser, su santo nombre. Bendice alma mía a Jehová y no olvides ninguno de sus beneficios. Gracious God, you are God, and God, you are good. Thank you, Father, for the blessings of life in each day that you've given us, the breath of life. Help us never to take a day of life for granted. Thank you, God, for just the blessing, Lord, of being part of this city. And help us not to forget those, Lord, who suffer, who are in need, who are in tough times. Pray, Lord, for our council, our mayor. Thank you for their leadership, their desire to serve. Pray, God, that you give them wisdom in which, Lord, to use the knowledge they have, Lord, to honor you and serve your people effectively and efficiently. Thank you for their service, their heart, God, and Lord, just thank you, Lord, for their dedication to doing the right thing. May you bless them, and by them being blessed, may we be blessed as a city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I can put your right hand over your heart. Allegiance to the flag, States of America. God. City Clerk, can I have a roll call, please?
Absolutely, Mayor. Mayor Estrada,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Here.
Councilmember Avila,
Here.
Councilmember Garcia,
Here.
Councilmember Damian.
Here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, City Attorney, can you report from closed session?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The council met in closed session with all members being present except for the mayor. The other members heard the items identified on the agenda, and as to all items, no reportable action was taken. That's it, Mayor.
Great, thank you for that, City Attorney. So at this moment, I will go ahead and adjourn the closed session, the special meeting. Can I have is there any objections? If no objections, the special meeting is adjourned, and we will continue with the regular meeting. And we do have proclamations, commendations, and presentations, and we do have a presentation regarding the 2024 San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments updates presented by Brielle Salazar, Regional Housing Trust Manager.
Are you controlling the slide? Awesome. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Estrada and Baldwin Park City Council. My name is Brielle Salazar, and I am the manager of the San Gabriel Valley Regional Housing Trust. I am joined here tonight by my colleagues Alcida Godoy and Joyce Talia, and I am here to provide an update on the COG's past year accomplishments and plans for the upcoming year. So if we can go to the next slide, I'd like to start by acknowledging our leadership, starting with Tim Hepburn, who's mayor of Laverne and the president of the COG, First Vice President Ed Reese, April Verlato, who's second vice president, and Corey Moss, who serves as third vice president. We thank them for their service. We can go to our next slide. The COG strives to improve quality of life for all residents of the San Gabriel Valley by addressing several areas, including sustainability. And the City of Baldwin Park participates in several of the COG's sustainability programs, including Fresh SGV, which is a food recovery program that optimizes the recovery of surplus edible food and reduces food waste and food insecurity by redistributing that food. If we can go to our next slide. The COG also addresses transportation issues, seeking to quite literally move us forward and improve mobility for all residents by reducing congestion and increasing safety. I'd like to highlight the 5760 Confluence Project, which will improve safety and reduce congestion at one of the busiest truck routes in the entire country. On the next slide, the COG believes that every resident deserves a place to call home that is safe and decent, and we applaud the City of Baldwin Park for its leadership in this effort in both interim and affordable housing. The photo that you see here on the right is from Serenity Homes, and this was a tour that was provided to other jurisdictions to showcase the success of this program and highlight the impacts that interim housing have on our most vulnerable residents. Thank you. To our next slide. To also uplift our neighbors in needs and serve our most vulnerable residents, the COG provides programs to support our unhoused neighbors, which includes the Village 143 program, which secures donations of essential items, which are distributed through outreach and also directly to interim housing sites, including the 2 sites in this city. We can go to our next slide. I'll quickly go over some of the fiscal year 23-24 accomplishments. COG celebrated 2 really important groundbreakings for 2 grade separation projects, celebrated the opening of 3 food recovery hubs, provided services to more than 1,900 vulnerable residents, and funded 16 affordable homeownership units, which includes 12 in the City of Baldwin Park in the Torch Street project. We go to our next slide. Also, zooming in on impacts to the City of Baldwin Park, last year the COG provided flexible funds, which could be used to provide deposit and rental assistance for our unhoused neighbors. COG also operates a workforce development program, which benefits the residents at Esperanza Villa and Serenity Homes. And we also hosted the Affordable Housing Incubator, which produced 2 studies for the city, including an inclusionary housing study and ADU pre-approved plans for consideration. On our next slide, the RHT efforts in the City of Baldwin Park. So the city is an active member of the Regional Housing Trust, partnering on both interim and affordable housing efforts. To date, we've housed 16 families and 44 individuals for a total of 92 lives changed. This summer, we also celebrated the groundbreaking of Esteban E. Torres Village, which will provide 51 units of affordable housing and received a loan of $2.5 million from the trust. And that is pictured here. On the next slide, looking forward to 24-25. In this next year, the COG will continue to improve quality of life through studies, including the Wildfire Protection Program or Wildfire Protection Plan. We'll begin implementation of bus corridor improvements to improve congestion ahead of the 2028 Olympics. We'll support additional units through the expansion of the Trust's revolving loan program, which is increasing by $5 million this year and will support about 120 units. And also through the Rapid Housing Development Program, which will support interim housing units and the transitions to permanent housing. On our next slide, I'd like to thank the City of Baldwin Park for its partnership and recognize the city's representatives on our various committees, starting with Mayor Estrada, who serves on the Regional Housing Trust Board, City Manager Enrique Saldivar, who serves on City Manager's Steering Committee, and Director of Recreation and Community Services, Manny Carrillo, who serves on Homelessness Committee. And that is, or the next slide is my last slide. I want to thank you for your time this evening, and I look forward to continuing to work with you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Very nice. Well, we definitely want to thank you, Brielle, for being here. You know, it's always nice to see not only what the COG is doing, but also what we're doing in partnership and being able to showcase it and being able to also have it here on our record so that residents know, you know, that we are diligently hard at work. If any of my colleagues or staff have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor.
I just want to thank you, Brielle, for the update and all the work you have done to make sure that we have secured the funds for our residents here in Baldwin Park. And as you stated on here, there's been a lot happening here in the city of Baldwin Park. And of course, we couldn't have done it alone. So thank you for everything that you guys do out there for us to help our unhoused and anybody that's in need here in the city of Baldwin Park. It's always a pleasure to work with you and to see you. Thank you.
Is it a new name, but the same Brielle?
There you go.
Okay.
Right. Well, thank you, Brill, for being with us today and giving us that update. We're very excited to keep the work going. Our next presentation is regarding water supply updates presented by Valley County Water District General Manager Jose Martinez.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. It's always a pleasure to be here and provide an update. Usually when I come, I'm talking about drought and it's usually pouring rain, but this time it's 100 degrees in October. So hopefully this, me being here, will inspire some rain to start coming down on us. I do have one of my board of directors here, Director David Muse, and I believe our President Ralph Galvan is online as well. So certainly always a great opportunity to be here to present. So next slide, please. A little bit of update, and the bar graph, really what we're looking at on the right-hand side is just where our groundwater table is. The blue line on the top represents the historical high that we've had in the last 30 years, with the red line being the historical low that wasn't too many years off. So we're right smack dab in the middle. So if this was your bank account, people ask, how's your bank account looking? You're like, we're looking average. And that's kind of like where we're at with our groundwater supply. The reason why that's important, because as we've transitioned to this next slide, is that we share this groundwater supply. So it's not just available for the cities in which we serve, Baldwin Park or Wendell, and on a piece of West Covina, Azusa, but we share it with a million other individuals that rely on groundwater supplies from the main San Gabriel Basin. So if we can actually go back 2 slides, please. And on the left-hand side is a map of the state of California. A couple years ago, this used to be bright red with just severe or extreme drought. So thankfully, we've been blessed the last 2 years with above average. Usually around the LA Basin are some of the main kind of stations where we track rainwater. We see about an average between 18 or some high 18, some 16 inches of rain. So last year, although we seemed like we got a lot of rain, which we did, which was certainly above our 10-year average, received about 22 inches of rain. So those last 2 years of above average rain really see, if you can kind of see the tail end of that bar or that line graph, that extreme kind of shooting up of that line, and that's mainly because of those last 2 years of above average rain that has really brought up our bank account. So again, when we're saying where we're at, how we're doing, we're not physically in a drought in the state of California, but our groundwater supplies is around average or where we want it to be. So still managing it and monitoring that. Why this matters, and it kind of goes into the next slide, is that our district, along with many other water districts in the San Gabriel Valley, have a high dependency on this groundwater supply. And we usually overproduce it and rely on groundwater, imported water supplies, either from Northern California or from the Colorado River to replenish the overproduction. But Valley County Water District is 100% dependent on this groundwater supply. So that's why it really matters. And we're monitoring, along with others, with Watermaster, Upper District, and other wholesale retail providers to really manage and take care of this water supply. Couple other updates we wanted to bring in the next slide. We continue to encourage water use efficiency. We have completed the installation of our new automated meter infrastructure. This allows us to get real-time data of meter reads for our customers. In the event that there's continuous water usage 24 hours or several days in advance, we'll actually be notified by the system, so we can contact our customer and let them know there's a high probability, unless somebody is standing there with a hose or taking a 2-day shower, that it's kind of inconsistent of normal water use if you see those 24-hour, 48-hour consistent water usage. So now that we have these new meters and just outside and talking with some of the residents, that there has been that transition on a residential bill from bi-monthly to monthly. So the installation of this new technology has allowed us to send out monthly bill, as well as having these advanced notices to send out to our customers. This new program is also available for our customers, so they can actually log in and actually track their water usage and receive, so they can manage it, have it interactive, and be really engaged of their overall water use if they want to track of what may be occurring at their house, and really dial in and start practicing some water use efficiency. So this is a new program. We've had just under 100 customers already apply, and it's not an application, you just have to sign up for it. And then have access to this information. So very valuable information to really take control of the overall water use. Next slide, I wanted to promote. This is a new rebate program. It goes hand in hand with the turf replacement program, which is about $2 a square foot, a replacement of turf to some type of water use efficient, native, California-friendly plant. But also to encourage that, now there's a $100 rebate for up to 5 trees in this. So you have to remove some turf and then install some California friendly. But now, if anybody's gone to a nursery lately and seen the prices of trees, they're sticker shock. And so this certainly is an incentive. And you can't just buy any tree. There are specific trees that are native to California or are water efficient. So there is a predetermined list of trees that actually qualify for this program. But if you're interested, there's some flyers in the back, and you certainly can go to our website and gather additional information about this turf removal program and also this new rebate for the trees for the project. So certainly happy about this upgrade to this program. Couple other slides that I have here. We can go to the next one. We have also, we've added a few other Pay Near Me locations. I know we used to be right downtown, but I hear everybody's a little excited about what took our place over here. Hopefully nobody tries to make payments at Dutch Brothers, because I'm sure they'll take our money down there. But we have moved into locations, but in doing so, we did launch this Pay Near Me program. We understood the benefit of being located downtown, and here we do have a lot of foot traffic coming in and making payments. So individuals, instead of going up to our office, there are additional options where you can pay your bill. And we just added Walmart and Walgreens to the list. So there's other options instead of going up. So you can just take your bill. There's a barcode in the back. They scan it. There is a transition fee. I believe it's about $2 or under that for that transaction. But there is an option to do that, make payments besides going up. And we also have additional payments, call or online as well, where our customers can make payments. Next slide is, and I really want to take this opportunity, and I already thanked Manny personally and gave us a little gift of our gratitude and the partnership that we had with the city this past summer. We at the district launched an Aqua Academy program to really engage with the school districts and with the city as far as getting kids curious about water and the treatment of water. Certainly, as the city has seen, or certainly other industries have seen, especially in engineering, that you have to be proactive and kind of engaging those kids, sparking that interest. I'm in the water industry because of a tour I took my first year in college. So it's really you getting, inspiring that next generation of individuals to replace myself. I'm getting a little grayer, certainly, nothing going on up here. So someone's going to have to step in and take my spot sooner than later. So again, thank you, Manny. Thank the staff. And having this partnership, the city already had a summer program. We just coordinated with them and put together a great kind of informational tour of our treatment facility, and really showing the kids what we do out on a daily basis. No one really thinks about water until, one, they don't have it, or their bill goes up, or other options. But this is a vital infrastructure that we maintain for the benefit of the community that we serve. Just like the city, we are a public agency. We're a government. We have a government governing body that regulates us, and we serve the community, and we take care of the infrastructure to deliver safe, reliable water 24/7 with 0 days off. So great program. And again, thank you. And thank for the city for allowing us to continue to build on this partnership. Last slide I have, again, a couple more pictures. It was during the summer, so super hot days. We actually created a little bit of a main leak. We have great videos, social media, if you ever see it, where the kids actually put a repair clamp on this pipeline. So they're getting wet in the process, but also seeing exactly what we have to do almost on a daily basis to fix and repair pipelines that rupture in the ground. Our last slide is, again, just another thanks to the city. The city does a great job of putting together your concerts in the park and all your summer programs. And that really allows us the opportunity to engage with our customers. So thank you for all that you do in serving the community. And it's another opportunity for us, as I said, to better serve our community and have questions and provide whatever information we can to our customers during those events. So that's all I have to report. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them at this time.
I don't have any questions, Jose. I just want to thank you for your presentation and the continued collaboration with us. And in addition to our students and our community, I really appreciate it. And I know that the students got a lot out of that, your Aqua Academy. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. As do we. You really don't know something till you try to explain it to another person. And that's the whole teaching aspect. You really kind of master your art when you have to explain it to others and inspire that next generation. So it's certainly something passionate to me. And thankfully, I have the support of the board of directors to continue to do programs such as this. Oh, here comes a water question or an engineer question.
No, when you showed the slide about repairing leaks and the street infrastructure, your water pipes, Jose. So recently we had a press conference here with the County Department of Public Health and the Vector and Mosquito Control District to seek the public's awareness and participation on abating what appear to be a growing concern with the dengue mosquito.
Yeah.
And so stagnant water which can be created by leaking pipes, and certainly in, say, both in the street as well as in the homes or in the properties. Is there an area you see we can collaborate to ensure that we work with residents so that there's no standing water created by a leaking water pipe, not just in the street, but certainly in the home?
Yeah, I mean, that certainly is a collaboration. One of the giveaways that we used to have is rebates or for rain barrels. And certainly having that stagnant water and not having an appropriate screen could create an issue with mosquitoes. So that certainly has something that we as an industry have addressed with other programs that we had. There is a little bit of a process, and our community, I feel, does a great job. If they see something, they call us up. They say, hey, there's a leak. And often we're getting calls from whether city staff, our board of directors, our customers, that there is a leak. Although we are aware of leaks sometimes, there is a process where we have to notify others before we just start digging in the street. We have to make sure we don't rupture Edison's, the gas company, telecommunications. We don't know exactly what's buried, in the ground. So there is a little bit of a process. So, and I know sometimes customers get a little frustrated by that. It's like, you guys are aware of the leak and it's been 2 days, but there is a little bit, they call it, calling it underground service alert. If it's bad enough where it's really potential caving in, we can have an emergency leak. And usually that will require just physically hand digging it rather than using excavators or any other equipment, just to be careful because we don't know what we're going to encounter. But certainly we try our best to address leaks as quickly as we can when it's on our system. But there are events when there are leaks where it may be in a park or Caltrans. We always get a lot of calls on Caltrans, or some bigger areas of landscape where there is a lot of stagnant water. And that really comes into the efficiency and the management of irrigation systems, and unfortunately those break overnight. And I know the city has the challenges of many acres of parks that they have to be maintained. And everything can be fine Monday, and the next day overnight, you have 10 broken sprinklers. So things change quickly. So it's that communication, because we get calls as well about city issues or the school districts. And we try to, and thankfully we've developed that collaborative, I can call you or call other staff so we can communicate that. So I think just continue to have that open line of communication does avoid many things, from unwanted water use, from charges for those leaks, but also to avoid issues such as mosquitoes as well. So I apologize, long answer, but my board's kind of used to that.
Very good.
Any other questions? Again, a pleasure. Anytime, come visit us. We are working on other projects such as the conservation garden. So we're looking for partnerships for a demonstration to continue the programs that we have here. So look forward to launching that new space, that demonstration garden into the future. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and open up public communications. City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Yes, Mayor, first, I do want to acknowledge an email that was received from Denise Tornatore in gratitude for recognizing Mr. Benbow at Zocalo Park. That letter has been distributed to the entire council, and it's available for a review at the dais. I would like to invite Ms. Irma Morales with the Baldwin Park Library.
Hi, good evening, Mayor Estrada, City Council members, community members, and city staff. I wanted to talk about some upcoming programs at Baldwin Park Library. Currently, the month of October is Family History Month. So we will be having a program on Wednesday, October 9th, next Wednesday, from 6 to 7 on basic genealogy resources. And we will be learning more about resources available for genealogy and handing out some forms to help with basic genealogy. We're also going to be continuing our Smarty Pants story time. Story time is for ages 2 to 5. It's on Thursdays at from 11 to 11:30. So there are a lot of good free resources that you can come to in the library. We are also going to be having on Friday, October 25th, our free vaccine clinic. That will include flu and COVID vaccines. Lastly, we do have virtual programs that the library has through LA County Library in general. On Saturday, October 5th at 11 a.m., the virtual program will be on the pros and cons of the ballot measures. And on Wednesday, October 9th, there's an author talk of Sylvia Moreno Garcia, who's written books like Mexican Gothic and The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. All those programs are virtual, and community members can sign up for them at lacountylibrary.org. Thank you for your time.
Mayor, that concludes all comment cards received.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this point, if you didn't fill out a speaker card and would like to speak during public communication, now is your time.
Good evening, council. I want to do a rare thing and say a nice thing first. Okay, and that is that with the new blood that we got in the council here for the last 4 years, you guys have done the homeless thing great, the taco vendors, you just haven't fixed the taco trucks yet. We need to get those fixed, but we need a new director and community development to do that. But I really appreciate what you guys have done for the last 4 years. It's been really good. And it's proud the city to see not a lot of garbage around. Now, back to the real world. We have a city manager making $329,000 a year, plus, and that includes benefits. A park director making $282,000, finance director $281,643 with no CPA license, and a community director that does nothing at $206. He's lost more people, employees, because of his direction. Now, I went to the BP Stakeholders Oversight Committee. The city manager tried to direct it. He's a joke. He couldn't even do a presentation. He had a guy on the phone. They couldn't get him on the phone. And then he's sitting there not telling the final details, the finishing details of, oh yeah, well, there's going to be a surcharge on this card. It was a credit card deal. And oh yeah, you're going to invest $110,000 of the community's money of this extra tax that we're trying to do for the community. And you're going to get $1,000 back if we have the same thing that we turned out from last year. This is a joke. You guys are bleeding this BP committee thing out, and it's not right. You bought here, you bought you put in $2 million to the police department. Plans for the sports committee complex, 80,000. They don't even know where they're going to build it yet. They don't even have the land deal. Kubota tractor, 59,000. Crew truck, 75,000. Morgan Park, $1 million. Rubio Park, $200,000 to keep it maintained every year. I don't understand. This thing was supposed to be made for this complex, and you guys keep pissing this money away, and it's not right. And this stuff here, what's going on with the city manager trying to run it, one of the people that was Pastor Jackson was asking that, can you present this stuff? Let us go home and digest it, come back at another meeting and see what we do. Oh, he gets irate with Pastor Jackson because, oh no, I can't have all these meetings and do this and do it right. Then you guys had discovered that the city's sucking the money out of here. Now, this committee has never came up with their own ideals. Not once, not once. And Rose Tam has taken money out of here that they haven't even voted on yet, which she got caught on at the last meeting. Said, oh, I'm going to correct that. I'll correct that. That's not right yet. And that was with the finance. So you people are going here, taking these directors
Mr.
are
Tuttle, your
lazy.
3
And they're
minutes are
not
up.
doing their job. And it's got to
Thank
stop.
you so much.
Thomas Carey, a former resident. Been a long time. Last time I was here, it was freezing ass cold in here. That was right after COVID and all, you know. I want to talk about the election. There's Kamala Harris. She doesn't answer any questions. All politicians do that, but she doesn't answer anything, nothing. She dances around, laughs like a witch, and answers nothing. I can't believe that those polls could be that close with somebody that has nothing to say. Trump stands there and takes it. All the questions. You stand there and they badger him to death, try and paint him into a corner, and he stands there. How come she isn't out there taking questions like that? Every damn thing has to be scripted for her. Is that what you want for a leader? Because she's a woman? But she's not a Hillary Clinton. They had a chance to put her in there and they put Trump in there. So that tells me maybe they really don't want a woman in there for whatever reason as president of this country. Well, you have to have a woman. Kamala Harris isn't the woman for that. And how come Joe Biden picked such a dumbass as a running mate? Why didn't he pick a true black woman? Karen Bass. He had the option to pick her. She's clearly black. There's no doubt about that. Because Kamala Harris is Jamaican. Now, maybe that's in the black family, but she's clearly not. She changes like a chameleon. And all these people, they're going to vote for her just because she's a woman? She has nothing to offer. She can't stand up to these world leaders. Trump might be a bully, but wouldn't you rather have a bully that's going to stand up for the country than somebody that's going to be passive? We're involved in 2 wars with this last administration that's in there now. Trump didn't have any wars. I voted for Trump and I'm going to do it again. I want a leader. I wanted to say something else that starts with a P, but I'll leave that to your imagination. We want somebody that's strong, that's going to fight for this country, not give everything away to everybody else. You know that they left $85 billion of our equipment in Afghanistan? Biden did that. Our military equipment, he left it there for the goddamn terrorists. At the very least, they should have destroyed it or flew it to Saudi Arabia They left it there for Hamas. And they're using that shit against us. And nobody sees anything wrong with that. And Harris is part of that. Wake up.
10 seconds.
Just wake up. Can't you see what's right clearly in front of you? I don't know if any of you voting for Harris, but if you do,
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
okay, thank you.
Buenas noches a todos. Ok, pues ya estaban hablando acerca del agua y como yo ando ayudando a los concejales a correr las campañas un poquito, entonces yo vi que hay una pipa quebrada ahí en la Leland y la Pacific. Le hablé con él ahorita que salí, dice que él no es su área. Yo no sé dónde pasa la línea de ellos para que lo reporten, tienen que hacer algo, tira mucha agua esa línea ahí. Entonces hablan de que no hay agua o que hay agua y hay que cuidarla. Tienen que cuidarla ellos primero que no se tire. Y pues, yo lo veo mal que no hagan caso cuando uno lo reporta algo para el beneficio, para que no esté tirando el agua. Ahora, cambiando de tema, necesitamos echarle más ganas porque hay muchos hombres, demasiados hombres que están rayando las paredes, mucha basura que tiran, se meten en la tarde, ahorita están amontonados ahí en la pipa del Walmart atrás, allá por mi negocio. Comandante, necesitamos que le echen más ganas, tener más oficiales, porque si no hay oficiales en la noche, pues nos empeoramos con los hombres y hay mucha basura y ando todos los días recorriendo las calles que veo para poder reportar algo. Y si no nos unimos, la ciudad va a ser peor, peor en peor. Mucha gente la quiere, la ciudad porque está limpia, pero si no nos hacen caso, se va a empeorar con el tiempo. Y rayan demasiado. Ya ve, ya se me canso ya tanto andar, creo que vigilando. Y hay que echarle ganas porque hay que levantar la ciudad y mantenerla bien limpia. Gracias.
Good evening. Once again, today the water was mentioned, and I saw that there was a broken pipe on Highland and Pacific, and I spoke with someone about this, but they told me it was not inclusive in their area. So we have to take care of these water problems because we have to take care of the water, and we have to also report any abuses. On a different subject, in regards to the homeless people, there's a lot of painting and graffiti that these people are involved in. And there's a pipe by Walmart behind my shop. And I have to tell the chief that we need more officers patrolling the area because there's too much homeless and the trash are being accumulated. And if we let it go, it's going to get worse and worse. And there's going to be more of this graffiti and trash. The city looks clean, but we have to fight to keep it like that, to keep it clean. Thank you.
Okay, if nobody else is looking to speak, I will go ahead and close the public communications. And at this moment, we will move on to the consent calendar. Is there any items council is looking to pull from the consent calendar for discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to pull item 6.
All right, item number 6, is there any others? If not, I will make a motion to approve items 1 through 7, excluding item number 6. Can I have a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
We have a motion by Mayor Estrada, second by Councilmember Damian, Councilmember Avila, Councilmember Garcia, Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. Councilmember Damian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to say that I'm excited to see this finally coming out I know we've been wanting the restrooms to be remodeled at Morgan Park for some time, but I do have a couple of questions. Sam, I noticed here that we're going to be paying out 34,258 to do an on-call consultant for construction management and inspection for the services. Do we not have the capability of managing the project in-house?
Yes, so we're assigning an in-house project manager. But then we're going out for construction management and inspection. So the inspections for the building have to be done by a third party because there will be inspections done by the city to make sure that the contractor is meeting the code. So there's a separation there that we need to have. So we're going to have a third party construction manager inspector to make sure that the contractor is doing the work. Then the city's inspectors will come in and inspect the work and approve it after it's constructed.
And it's required that we have a third-party construction manager?
So it's not necessarily required, but it is the best practice.
Okay. So we're paying a consultant to manage the project, and then yet we're also using our own in-house to manage that consultant managing the project, or walk me through this?
Yeah, so there's two tracks. So the first one is our engineering staff will handle the project management. That means approving the RFIs, looking at submittals, that sort of thing, paying invoices, processing invoices and stuff like that. That's the project manager. The construction manager is the day-to-day person that is going to be there managing the construction. That's the guy that's going to coordinate construction activity. And then the inspector, and it's probably going to be the same person, the construction manager and inspector. They're the ones that are there really on a day-to-day inspecting and making sure that the contractor is constructing the project according to plan. The other track is our our own city's building inspectors, which are separate. They inspect all construction in the city, and it's no different here. They're going to be coming to inspect the work and make sure that the contractor has, met code and construction requirements.
So the consultant that we're paying to manage the day-to-day construction is going to be the person that's going to be physically out there overseeing the construction workers and the construction project, correct?
Correct.
And we don't have the capability of someone in-house to do that. That needs to be contracted out to a third party, is what you're saying, correct?
Correct. So it's a best practice. Most of the projects we have out have a construction manager from our on-call list. If it's for example, a smaller project like a paving project, we'll do that in-house. But something that involves building code and construction activity and all that related to ADA and building code and all that, it's a best practice to have a construction manager.
And then who's going to oversee from our perspective, a city's perspective, who's going to oversee and make sure that this consultant, construction manager, is adequately overseeing this project, making sure that A, the project is done on time, and B, it's done properly? Because I know that I've had a lot of complaints regarding the Barnes Park project. Right now, I've been getting a lot of complaints that it's at a standstill. So I know that there's, monitoring that we have to do just to make sure things are being done accurately and properly. So who's going to oversee this consultant to make sure that the job is getting done correctly?
So that'll be in-house staff. I'm assigning one of our associate engineers, David Lopez, is going to be handling for the most part, and then Romani Basilius would be overseeing David. So that's the structure we're setting up for this project. As an example, Zocalo was Romani and Giovanni. So it depends on the load that they're working on.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that we have someone from our staff,
Absolutely.
just making sure that this construction manager is overseeing this project properly and just making sure that things are moving along and they're getting done correctly.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Anyone else have any questions? No? Okay.
When do we expect to break ground on the rehab?
So we are awarding today, but we do not want to start construction until January. And that is because we don't want to impact the holiday season and the festivities at the park with a closed down construction activity. So we have already talked to the contractor and they have accepted starting January 3rd.
Perfect. Okay. And good question, Mayor. And to that point, are you working alongside Manny and his staff to make sure that you guys are cohesive regarding the restrooms and events that are going on, just like you mentioned, holding off to January?
Yeah,
You guys are
absolutely.
working together?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. If there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item 6.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
We have a motion by Councilmember Damian, a second by Councilmember Ayala. Councilmember Avila? Councilmember Garcia? Councilmember Damian?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala?
Yes.
Mayor Estrada?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, we are at item number 8, approval of contract with A1 Concrete and Construction for McNeil Manor Senior Housing Roof Replacement and appropriate funds for the relocation of 7 public housing tenants. I did have some questions regarding this one. So when we're relocating these tenants, are we permanently relocating them, or are we going to temporarily relocate them and bring them back?
That we are exploring. The ideal situation is that they're temporarily relocated, and so that way they can ultimately come back to their unit once remediated and repaired.
Yeah, and I know that we've talked about the possibility of expanding McNeil Manor just to make, because it is in the downtown core, so we have the opportunity to densify it a little bit and increase our housing opportunities for seniors. So with the roof, I don't know what the condition is or why we're at this point, but have we thought about this as an opportunity to explore that portion of it if we're going to permanently relocate those residents?
Right, if I may, Mayor, right now we're engaging with HUD to make sure that we're complying with with relocation standards and requirements. The current roof on there is more than 30 plus years and is in great need of replacement. It's urgent that we replace that roof before the winter season as the rains come to be able to secure the building from any further damage.
Yeah, but I mean, if the roof is at that point, if we end up permanently relocating those residents, and we're not in a rush to reuse those units right away, right? So we have the opportunity to explore the idea of increasing our density there, which is, I think, something we've talked about on the council as a whole as well.
Right. You had brought that up before, Mayor, and so we, in a way, have several balls in the air here, so to speak, if you will. On the one hand, it's 12 residents, and we work very closely with them as their alternative preferred next housing alternative. We have placed them at a hotel. Our next step would be to try to relocate them to a permanent other apartment. But they have to obviously also be willing and being able to find a suitable other apartment to house them at. So all of that is going on. Meanwhile, we have the rain season not too far, and with Jose here, maybe it's coming earlier. But we definitely want to get the roof repaired before the rainy season, in the event that, the intent is for them to come back to the units.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of questions on there. So according to the staff report, it's going to cost us $259,000 to get the work done, correct?
Yeah, the roof and the remediation and.
Okay.
Well,
And then-
no, the roof and the relocation for the tenants. The remediation would be a separate action once we've been awarded emergency funds from HUD for the remediation and repair of those
Yeah,
units.
so this is just the roof and the relocation.
So right
It's
now,
not including any other work
that is correct.
Yeah.
That would come back to the council for
additional.
for approval,
Okay.
yes.
So my question is, I know that it states that we're working or looking at the HUD program, the HUD Capital Fund, Emergency and Natural Disaster Fund. correct?
That's correct.
So if we pay for this $259,000, is this on a reimbursement basis? In other words, would we get reimbursed from HUD?
Good question. No.
Okay.
So on that,
So-
that has already confirmed that. There could be a situation where while we're conducting the work, during that time, but just based on the timing that we've discussed, it's not likely that we will get, not reimbursed, but once we get funded from HUD, they will begin, that's when those funds would take over and we would, any unspent funds on our side, would be a savings to us. And, then we would be using, HUD funds for, repair. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so I was going through the HUD Capital Fund, Emergency and Natural Disaster Fund through their website. And obviously they get $20 million allocated for the fiscal year, right?
Yes.
And one of those is water intrusion causing mold growth,
Yes.
which would fall under our category.
Correct.
Okay. So from what I gathered when I read through this on their website was they will cover whatever the insurance does not cover, right?
You are
So as an
correct.
example, if the insurance comes out and says we cover X amount of money and there's still another amount that's left over, let's say $200,000, then HUD will come in and cover that with that money. So my first question is, when was this first filed or reported to our insurance company? Because this happened in July. So when did this first was reported to the insurance company? And two, when did the insurance adjuster actually physically come out to inspect the units?
Council members, so when we received notification on July 24th of potential mold within one of the units, within a couple of days, notified the Human Resources Department to make contact with the insurance company. It wasn't until this Monday that the insurance adjuster did a walkthrough. I was with the insurance adjuster to inspect the units and also inspect the roof.
So
during that time, I did send several notifications to our.
Although we were doing inspections by the remediation company to determine the extent of the damage in the first place, right? We were having an inspector from the remediation company to come and look at what the extent of the mold
Yeah, but
situation was.
that's separate from the insurance adjuster. That's a totally separate inspector. So what I want to get to is this. If this was first reported in July, and this was supposed to be reported to our insurance company, did it take that long for the adjuster to come out on, you said it just came out this Monday? September 30th.
No, as I mentioned, I sent several messages to our HR department to get in contact with the insurance company regarding this matter, and that goes back to so we were notified on again July 24th, and then it was on shortly after. Then notification was sent to HR so that way we can begin the process with the insurance. That process didn't start until last week on Thursday, the 25th.
The insurance process?
Correct. The insurance claim was submitted to the insurance company last week, and then coordinated and scheduled with the insurance adjuster to meet at the site for assessment on Monday.
So the insurance claim, so you're saying that the insurance claim wasn't filed until Thursday of last week, which is the reason why the adjuster just came out this Monday.
That is correct.
So that means that we waited 2 months to file this insurance claim?
We had alerted the insurance company, and the claim as a formal claim was followed up with, but we had alerted the insurance company. We hadn't formalized it as a claim, but they had been alerted.
Okay, so that's my concern, because alerted is one thing, filing a claim is another.
Correct.
So alerted doesn't mean anything. You can alert whoever you want. The fact is that the insurance claim was not filed until last week, Thursday. So now my question is, why did we wait 2 months? Because this is my problem here, that if this is the case, then we lost 2 months. which means now we're going to fork out $259,000, which we're not going to get reimbursed for because HUD does not reimburse the money. So therefore, this could have been filed early on, let's say early August. The adjuster would have came out a week later. We would have had this covered through the insurance company. Then we would have been able to tell HUD, this is how much the insurance is going to cover, and this is what we need you to cover. Instead of us now having to expense out of these 3 different funds to cover the $259,000. So in other words, we're out this money because we're not going to get reimbursed for it. So why did we not do our due diligence and file this claim on time so that we did not have to spend the money from these funds and instead have the insurance company and HUD cover it? That's my concern, because we're not going to get reimbursed here, colleagues. So now we have the rain season coming upon us, and the last thing I want is to see our seniors getting soaked in this rain. But financially, speaking, it would make total sense for us to wait for the insurance company to come back and say, this is what we're going to cover. So then that we can go back to HUD and say, this is how much we need from you to finish covering this amount. But how long is that going to take? And is it going to impact our seniors that may be possibly getting soaked on if the rainy season gets here? So from my point of view, this is our mistake.
If it is covered by the insurance, they will still cover it even if we go ahead and do the work. I don't think that opportunity is lost.
We're not getting reimbursed. They just.
Not from the insurance. If the
no.
insurance, if it's covered by the insurance will cover it. Well,
That I don't know, but the
no, if
question
it's
was,
covered, and we have a,
question was from HUD.
But are they going to reimburse us? Is the insurance company going to reimburse us the $259,000?
if it's a covered damage.
So you're saying that they will reimburse?
I'm saying they haven't made a determination of coverage. If it's covered,
I can't make a decision based on not knowing. That's the problem. You're bringing these things to us to make a decision, and we can't make a decision without having all the answers. So my question is, if you're telling me that the insurance company will reimburse the $259,000 that we're gonna upfront, then that's a different story to have. But if the insurance company does not reimburse, then we're facing a problem.
Councilmember Damian, if I can add, and I understand your concern here, because I think it's been a kind of an ongoing concern, so I get it. But I think, the way that I look at this is what is really immediate is the roof repair. And so that has to happen. And then, to do the roof repair, we probably would still be looking at the relocation costs, right? And then the remediation, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be to address the mold. And then that'll be a separate cost. And then, so I agree that, the insurance claim should have been filed so that, it's brought to us all together. But it sounds like the insurance company will have to review the claim, determine, what can be covered.
And if it's covered.
And if it's covered, right. And then that will be brought back to us. I mean, I understand your concerns because it would have been nice to package it all together with that information.
Yeah, because now we're on a time crunch because we don't want the rain to hit these seniors. You know what I mean? But my whole thing was, do we make the decision to upfront these $259,000 or do we wait?
If I may.
Well,
you
just
done?
really quick, if I can finish, because it sounds like, when does a roof repair, when does that happen?
So the roof after tonight, the roof repair is our recommendation based on the condition of that roof, that roof be replaced immediately.
And it sounds like we want to do that, like I said, immediately to avoid further issues.
Correct.
With these
Right.
structures. So I think that's the first point of order, first item of order anyway. Right. So I just wanted to finish that.
Thank you. And I want to add to the same point, which is exactly what I wanted to get to. When something happens, whether a claim needs to be done or not, when there is imminent danger or possibly harm to somebody, it needs to be taken care of. Just like at the Esther Snyder, when that cover fell apart. We didn't wait for the insurance claim to tell us, is it covered, is it not covered? We had to take care of it because it was a safety issue. So anytime there is a safety issue, we need to act and take care of it, follow the process of filing the claim. And yes, the claim should have been filed sooner. However, it wasn't. But as a city, we need to make sure that our residents are going to be provided housing, which you are going to provide somewhere for them to go and start those repairs immediately. And then once the insurance makes a decision, whether we would have filed it then or filed now, the amount they were going to give us wasn't going to change, whether it was going to be the full amount, more, half, or whatever, that probably wasn't going to change. But the fact is that we do need to make those repairs and then just wait for the insurance to hopefully give us that money back, which would end up, if they pay the full amount back, it's just going to pay us back. Not HUD. I understand HUD's not paying us, but if the insurance covers it, then we're going to be fine. And regardless, even if it doesn't cover the full amount, it still needs to be covered because we need to make sure our seniors are safe. And like you both stated, rainy season is starting, so we can't wait any longer to start those repairs for the insurance to say, yes, we're covering, or no, we're not covering. Most likely they will cover because that's why we have insurance. So I think it is important that we do go ahead and move forward to make sure that we get that started as soon as possible.
And it sounds like the insurance applies to the remediation, right?
Yeah, the roof,
The roof and the remediation.
the roof is a routine repair, if you will. It's just that in 35 years, it hasn't been repaired
Right.
once. So
Yeah.
that would fall under maintenance, which
Right.
I'm just saying, maintenance activity is not covered by insurance. It would be covered if it was, a peril, like a high wind or, a hurricane.
Yeah, like based on an incident.
Yes.
That caused the damage.
A
but this is ongoing.
peril, excuse me, a peril. And in this case, it's just the maintenance in 35 years. No, never has been replaced.
Which is pretty good, actually.
Hmm?
That is actually pretty good. 35
Yeah.
years that it has not been replaced. Yeah, so that's what I was going to mention. And you earlier said remediation is planned or scheduled for January, remediation of the mold.
Well, we don't have a set time, but just based on the timeline when we submit the application, because one of the requirements for submitting the emergency grant application to HUD, they require the letter from the insurance company. The insurance company had indicated it's going to take them 30 days. HUD, upon submittal, we're ready. We're working on it. Michelle and I are working on that application. We've met with HUD. They've been a great at providing us technical assistance. And so once we submit that application, they've guaranteed that they're going to streamline that review of that application, that they indicated that it would be about 30 to 45 days that they would release those funds to us.
So that puts us at about
So that puts
January.
us around that time,
Yeah.
but we're working really hard so that way we can remediate and repair those units as soon as we get that funding.
Right, yeah. I mean, the first step is getting that roof repaired so that it
Yeah,
doesn't cause further, and we would need to remove the seniors from the structures anyway. So I think we can just, move forward with that. Let the insurance come back and advise what they can cover, what they will cover. And then, our staff will submit to the application to HUD, and by January, we'll start the remediation, or you guys will start the remediation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm only gonna make a motion, I'll make a motion to approve, and that's only because our seniors are involved here. And they're our first priority. We need to make sure, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Damian, I just want to ask something really quickly. First of all, I agree with what you're saying, but just for my own understanding, Ron, you mentioned that when you got the information and you tried to make the claim, whenever you went through HR first. Can you just clarify how many times do you think you had to speak with them before they put in for that?
It was, I recall about on 4 occasions. or
Okay,
occasions.
until it was last week.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead,
No, no,
Councilmember.
it's okay. And as I was saying, they're a priority. However, we just need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence on time. Honestly, there's just really no excuse for us to wait 2 months to file this claim. Those are our priorities, and we need to make sure that we're being able to save money wherever we can. And, I know it's $260,000 and it's not coming out of the general fund, but at the end of the day, it's still $260,000. And if it could have been avoided for us to upfront this money and just have the insurance and HUD take care of it, then I think that would have been our priority. And I think that we probably would have been getting an answer around this timeline if the insurance claim would have been filed back when this was first reported, which was July. So I think that, that needs to be taken care of. I also want to thank Sam and staff. I'm sorry, Ron and staff. I always confuse you guys. I don't know why. I want to thank you guys because I know that you guys handled Enrique with the Faustino, one of the gentlemen that was there. He's very appreciative of what you guys did to assist him. So I want to thank you guys for, doing that great job and getting him back into his apartment. I know he was very, wanting to come back home to there. So I want to thank you guys for taking care of that. But let's just, let's stay on top of these things, But with that, if nobody has any other comments, because they are our seniors, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item number 8.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
We have a motion by Councilmember Damian, a second by Councilmember Garcia. Councilmember Avila. Councilmember Garcia. Councilmember Damian.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala.
Yes.
Mayor Estrada.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, we are at, we have officially completed city business. So we are at City Council, City Clerk, City Treasurer, staff requesting communications. I did want to ask that we get an update on the Hometown Hero military banners. I think it's been a little bit of been some time since we gave direction to renew them, and I know residents are getting angsty and they question where the banners are, and rightfully so, since they are for our veterans, and many of those veterans are their family members. I'm hoping that we can get an update on this at the next city council meeting. If that is okay with everybody.
Yes.
Definitely, Mayor. And you know what? It would be, good timing for the Veterans Day celebration. Yeah.
Yes. So Veterans Day is coming up the November,
November.
Yeah.
November 11th.
11.
There you go. Yes. So hopefully we can look into that. And then I know Councilmember Damian, you had a request. So the
Yes,
floor is
Mayor.
yours.
Thank you so much. Mine is seeking consensus from the city council and directing staff to install camera security system and other safety measures at the recently dedicated Susan Rubio Zocalo Park and Civic Center Plaza to ensure its continued enjoyment by the community. So I know I had a meeting with staff there Thursday. I joined them for the first part of their E-team there at the Zocalo, and there was just some things that we kind of, collaborated with that still need to be done. One of them is obviously the security systems. We have no security cameras there. We want to try to avoid any type of graffiti, any type of, homeless transients sleeping in the park or in the plaza. So we want to make sure we also get some skate stoppers, bikes and all that. It was a really good, productive meeting. Staff was, brought in some good ideas. So just seeking consensus for them to bring back the security systems for the Zocalo. If you guys are okay with that. And then I just have one last thing. I just wanted to thank staff, Manny and Parks and Recreation and staff for the successful grant application that was just awarded from the National Park Service in the amount of 2.1 million for Roadside Park, for the development of Roadside Park. So thank you, staff, doing a great job getting these grants and, helping us build more projects. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Mayor? I just want to thank staff. I want to say today there was an incident that I reported to all the departments. That was of urgent care with regarding one of our residents here in the city of Baldwin Park, and everybody, police department, housing, city hall, Parks and Recs, they all responded immediately to the need of this resident. I appreciate the fact that you were immediately on the subject and handling the situation, giving this person information. I know there's a lot of follow-up to do, but I just want to thank you. I can't mention exactly what it was, but just goes to show how everybody works as a team whenever one of our residents is in crisis here in our city. All it takes is for you to know about it and everybody jumps on board and helps. So thank you, all of you that got involved today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we don't get a lot of calls like that, but when we do, I know you guys are there for them. Thank you.
Mayor, I also just wanted to ask our city clerk, would you mind reading this letter into the record? I mean, she took the time to, send it to us, so.
Yeah, so I'm happy to read it if council is okay with it. We have had a policy of just acknowledging, but I'm happy to read it if you guys are okay with it.
I'd like you to also. Thank you.
I mean, if you feel. Oh, yeah, if not, I can read it. I don't think let me just read it. Let me just make it simple. For me to read it? I mean,
I
it's
have to read
council
it.
comments.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure, I'll practice my voice. Dear Mayor Estrada, Mayor Pro Tem Ayala, and council members Avila, Damian, and Garcia, I, along with many teachers and classified staff that worked and are still employed with Baldwin Park Adult and Community Education, wanted to express my personal appreciation for honoring the late Robert H. Benbow with a historical marker plaque at the grand opening of the Susan Rubio Zocalo Park and Civic Center Plaza. I worked for the Baldwin Park Unified School District and the adult school for 45 years and retired a little more than 5 years ago. Robert H. Benbow was my boss prior to his retirement. As you and many residents of Baldwin Park and beyond know, Mr. Benbow was a visionary leader who made many contributions to the Baldwin Park community. During his 35 years as the director of BPACE, he developed the many adult education programs for English language learners, older adults, and career technical education students. Without Mr. Benbow, there would be no adult career training center or performing arts center. Even after he retired from the school district, he continued to serve Baldwin Park. Many of the exhibits located at the Historical Society Museum were acquired due to his involvement with the clubs, elected officials, and students. I appreciate the city honors those who contribute to the community. In addition to the marker at the new park, the city council also acknowledged the passing of Mr. Benbow by holding a memorial and planting a tree at Morgan Park. I also want to express my dismay that the Baldwin Park Unified School District has yet to sufficiently acknowledge Mr. Benbow's passing or his contributions to the district and community. I am hoping they will consider my prior request to rename the Performing Arts Center in his honor, as they have honored many other past employees by naming facilities after them. Mr. Benbow was an icon in Baldwin Park, and his memory should be honored by the entire community, including the Baldwin Park Unified School District. Thank you, Denise A. Tornatore. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also just want to acknowledge Mr. Benbow and, since it was mentioned in this letter, and he was a wonderful person and community member. I mean, to take on the role of leading the historical museum or what was it? The historical society or the museum basically. And, just try to really document the city's more recent history, I guess. So we really appreciate him. Just wanted to mention.
Any other comments, questions from council, city clerk, city treasurer, staff? If not, it's 8:17 p.m. and we are officially done with city business. So we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting as long as there's no objections. And seeing that there's no objections, the city council meeting is adjourned and we will see everybody at the next meeting.